Well, Ange, firstly, because obviously a player's health is more important even than a win like that, how is Rodrigo Bentancur?
Yeah, look, obviously don't have all the information, but my understanding is he's conscious. He was conscious kind of when he got to the dressing rooms. Obviously, we took him to hospital just to get checked over. Worrying and always a concern, but from what I know at this stage, he's hopefully be okay.
It is at the time, isn't it, when you see something like that, really distressing sight. How hard then after that for the rest of the group to refocus and go again?
It's just our lot at the moment, you know. We're having to deal with adversity all the time. We started the game awfully well, almost scored just before that moment, and then obviously we lose a key player, and in those kind of circumstances. So, this lot are nothing if not resilient. They just keep going, and they did today. Yeah.
So to the game, you said in your pre-match, whatever energy they've got, they will give it. They absolutely did, didn't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They have been, and it's incredible when you think of we've got a couple of 18-year-olds out there, one playing out of position. A left back who's not a left back, a goalkeeper making his debut. The boys gave everything. We had to work hard, and even at the end of the game, they've put on some significant talent. We can't make those changes, but the guys kept going, and we got a deserved goal out of it.
Yeah, your goalkeeper, young goalkeeper, 21, Antonin Kinski. I mean, he's going to fit right in, isn't he? What a confident lad.
Yeah, no, we kind of sensed that. I certainly did when I had my first chat to him before we signed him, and it's a big part of it. When you're thinking about, maybe I downplayed it before the game, but that's a big occasion for a young man. First time out of the country in such a significant game against a massive opponent. He handled himself outstandingly.
Yeah, and when you say and have said through the difficult moments, there's a team in there. You see that with the young players tonight. I mean, Lucas Bergvall, not just the goal.
Outstanding. He was. Yeah, I mean, I've just seen so much growth. It's just that's been masked by our poor form, our results, but I've got no doubt we'll get through this period and we'll get our players back, and what we'll have found is in the meantime we've got some real players ready to sort of turn us into the team we want to be.
How much did you enjoy the goal? The work from Dom Solanke is top draw.
Yeah, unbelievable. Again, I don't know where he gets the energy from, and at times I feel sorry for him, just to give him a bit of a break, but he just keeps soldiering on, and, against two pretty big centre halves there, and he still had the composure, and unbelievable finish. Look, I thought we deserved it on the night. There was fine margins. The offside was, just so close. We had a great chance before that. I think we deserved the victory, and really pleased the players get rewards.
Yeah, I could see you shaking your head when the goal was disallowed. Is that just general dislike of VAR? Did you spot something particular or specific with that decision?
If you're under any sort of illusions, total dislike.
Not a fan.
No, that hasn't changed. And if people think that announcement tonight added anything to the game, I'm sorry.
Was that the head shaking? Is that the reason?
Well, I mean, really, just get on with it, mate. It used to be, you put your flag up and the game goes on. But anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, listen, look, I know before I asked this, you've had more than your fair share of bad luck. Did you get a slice of luck with the goal? Lucas Bergvall lucky to be on the pitch?
Yeah, great question. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Because because again, people misinterpret my comments from the other day. The rule is, and we've been told for quite a while now, that if advantage gets played, as long as it's not a cynical tackle, then the yellow card doesn't, because we've been screaming for it for the last 2 months. It's happened to us consistently. Have a look at our games. And we've asked the officials, and they've said, if we play advantage, as long as it's not a cynical tackle, then the yellow card doesn't get paid. Now, to me, that was pretty clear.
Okay, so it's lucky you didn't get your way and no one listened then.
No, I'm saying, well, that's the rule. So we had to cop it for the last 6 weeks, and we kind of abided by the rules today.
So given the context, everything around, I know it's only half-time, but this goes down as a special night, doesn't it?
It does, because the players get rewarded for the last 2 months, and yeah, you're right. We haven't sort of done anything. It's only half-time, and going to Liverpool's not easy, but just that feeling of having a really strong victory against a top opponent. I want the players to feel good about it, because they've put in a massive shift this last couple of months with little reward, and it hasn't been through the want of trying.
And that second season trophy just a little bit closer.
All right. Yeah. Well, people can keep sort of mocking me about it.
I'm absolutely not doing that.
We'll see.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks,
Thanks, mate.
Use and provide a very calm analysis. Is that a bit more difficult to do this evening?
No, not at all. It's 15, 20 minutes, half an hour after the game, so it's not so difficult to be calm. The moment it happens, it's more difficult to stay calm. But afterwards, you have to accept the decision, and that's what we have to do.
Yeah, okay. I mean, obvious question, I suppose. What do you make of the decision not to give a second yellow to Lucas Bergvall?
I think everyone who stands in front of camera will tell you that it had a big influence on the game. It didn't feel to me as if we were ever going to lose here. You never know. In the moment, things can change. And this is what we saw. So it was the decision he made had a lot of impact, of course, on the result tonight. And there's nothing else I can say about it. It is. I think everybody would tell you this.
Yeah, there are loads of consequences that kind of ripple out from it. One of them being Tsimikas is then not on the pitch to help you defend the goal.
Yeah. That is in general a rule I definitely don't like. Not only about today, but it happened during this whole season that if a player is injured or gets a hard tackle, it's not always necessary to give a yellow. Maybe this time he did, but not always necessary to give a yellow. But if a player then gets treatment, then he always has to go out for 30 and sometimes 45 seconds. I don't really understand why this is always necessary, but okay, it's a rule, so I accept it. Then conceding it and even the player scoring it, that maybe should have had his second yellow card is not only for us not ideal, but I think, but of course I don't know. I think maybe even the referee was like, is this really happening? Is he scoring now that goal? But he couldn't change it, and he didn't have to speak to the whole stadium why he made the decision, because it wasn't a VAR decision.
Have you spoken to him now in the tunnel?
No, the fourth official told me that why he thought it wasn't a second yellow, and of course he heard that probably from the referee. Then when we came inside, Robbo was asking the referee, what we can say about it is that he said he didn't stop the counter-attack. Now, every manager would prefer, of course, a second yellow compared to a counter-attack that goes on without one player and that still has to go 80 yards maybe. And then the second thing is if you stop a counter-attack with a reckless challenge, then he could still give his yellow, but he didn't see it as a reckless challenge. And probably that's the second thing we can debate about. So yeah. It is what it is. The positive thing for us is that we hate to lose. I hate to lose. But the good thing is, if you ever have to lose, it's better to lose when there's still a second leg to be played.
Why was it such a different game to the league match here 2.5 weeks ago?
I'm not so sure if it was such a different game than it was back then. The biggest difference is that we saw 9 goals back then and we only saw 1 today. But I think it was, again, a game where both teams wanted to press the other team high. Again, it was a team where both teams wanted to bring the ball out from the back. And chances, but not as many as the last time. But for me, I like this performance from us a bit more than the one on Sunday. But it's also a completely different game, facing a team that wants to play the ball out from the back, facing a team that plays with 4 attackers instead of 2, facing a team that presses high instead of a low block. So, yeah, that's also completely different than last Sunday.
In possession, would you say tonight, not quite at your best, or is that down to what you've just outlined with the way Tottenham press, the number of attackers they have?
Sometimes if you play with more attackers, that doesn't help you. Not always in the way you press and in defense. So that's probably not the excuse. But we always knew that they would come up with a reaction after the 6-3. We always knew how important this is, not only for the players but also for the fans over here. So we could expect maybe something else. But I do agree with you. We probably played one of our best, maybe the best game against Tottenham 2 weeks ago, and we're hoping to reach this level every single time, but that's not going to be easy. That's also not going to happen in the upcoming 20, 30 games we're going to play. This, for me, was definitely good enough to go away here with a result. I think we maybe even deserved, as a minimum, we deserved to have a result. And maybe even with 1 point, I would have been a bit disappointed. But to go away with a loss is definitely not what we deserve today.
But it does set you up for the second leg at Anfield, all to play for.
It's clear what we have to do, but everybody knows about the injuries of Tottenham, and the window is still open, so they can come up maybe with even a stronger team at Anfield. The good thing for us is then we are there with 60,000 people, But yeah, far from ideal starting position when we play the second leg. But the good thing is we have a second leg to play for.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Arne. It looked very emotional at the end. Who were you hugging?
It was my sister, because yesterday I got to know that there is a possibility of me being in the goal today. So I called them immediately, and my sister came, her boyfriend, and my parents. So I was so happy to have them here in such a special night.
Was that because your dad was a goalkeeper as well, played for Czech Republic? Was that him just behind your sister?
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, I hope he's proud. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm sure he is. That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you know it as well, Dom. It's not just a special night for you; it's the whole family.
Yeah, definitely the whole family. Because my grandfather was also a goalkeeper, so he was watching as well, definitely. So I hope they are all happy, and I'm happy for them.
Lastly, Dom, talk us through you.
He's confident, isn't he? Lovely reaction with Postecoglou. And then, as we heard, into the crowd, that's his sister, and his family was there as well. And he comes from good goalkeeping stock. Dad a goalkeeper, grandfather a goalkeeper. What? It's just a great story, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very proud moment. As you say, he's only been in the building 3 days, and then to go